forest, a world in its own. A home for various animals, insects, birds, and vegetation. Yet to be completely explored, forests are the lifeline of our planet. Forests account for 75% of the gross primary productivity of the Earth's biosphere and contain 80% of the Earth's plant biomass. But this peaceful and secluded world can turn into a dangerous burning oven if it catches fire. Forest fires have throughout the world created havoc and destroyed acres of forest land and the towns around the forest in no time. The deadliest forest fire of all time is believed to be that of October 1871 at Festiger in the US state of Wisconsin, which left between 800 to 1,200 people dead. In a matter of hours, the fire destroyed the forest village of 1,700 inhabitants and ravaged 16 other villages, spread over 5,000 square kilometers. The Great Fire of 1910, also occasionally referred to as the Big Burn. It is believed to be the largest single fire. It burned more than 3 million acres of Idaho, Montana, and Washington. In all, a total area roughly the size of Connecticut. In February 2009, at least 173 people died in fires in Australia. Entire towns and more than 2,000 houses were destroyed. India also has had its share of forest fires during 1990 to 2011. The worst wildlife fires occurred in Uttarakhand in 1995 when 375,000 hectares were burnt, followed by the Ganga-Yamuna watershed area 1999, Himachal Pradesh 2010, and two fires in Maharashtra in 2008 and 2010 that affected some 10,000 hectares. 21.53%, 7,08,273 square kilometers of the country's geographical area is forest. But according to the area, Madhya Pradesh 77,414 square kilometer, Arunachal Pradesh 66,964 square kilometer, and Chhattisgarh 55,547 square kilometer are the most forested states. Several states like Uttarakhand, Kerala, Goa, Tripura, and Assam, whose 33 to 75% area is covered only by forests. Of all, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Manipur are among the densely forested states. Although forest fires have been noted in numerous places across the country, yet the more frequent incidents occur in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and Assam.
Nearly 14 to 15 years, Forest Survey of India has got a rich repository of detected forest fires across the country. This database has helped Forest Survey of India in mapping or in assessing the fire-prone areas across the country.
March to May is the peak fire season for most states. In May 2018, at least 295 incidents of forest fires were reported in a day from different parts of the Uttarakhand. The total number of such incidents went up to 1,036 in 2 days.
जैसे हम ऋषिकेश से ऊपर चढ़े परंतु पहाड़ों पे आग ही आग दिख रही है, धुआं ही धुआं हो रहा है, रास्ते में हमें चलने में भी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है
क्योंकि गर्मी बहुत बढ़ गया। तापमान करीबन श्रीनगर का ही 37-38% चल रहा है, कभी 38-39 तक भी पहुंच जा रहा है और आग से और तापमान बढ़ जा रहा है, तो ये बड़ा टफ हो रहा है आग बुझाना।
Let's understand what exactly is a forest fire and why does it happen. A forest fire is simply an uncontrolled fire that sometimes burns for days and weeks. They can wipe out an entire forest and destroy almost every organic matter in it. Various natural and human factors are responsible for such fires. Normally, such fires happen during the summer season when most of the vegetation dries up and are more prone to fire. Naturally caused forest fires are usually started by dry lightning, where little to no rain accompanies a stormy weather disturbance. Among the other natural causes of forest fires is volcanic eruptions and sparks created by friction of rolling stones or rubbing together of clumps of dry bamboos. Still, human fire activity is the primary cause of wildfires, with nearly 10 times the start rate of natural starts. Most of these human-caused fires are accidental, usually caused by carelessness or inattention by campers, hikers or others traveling through wildland, or by debris and garbage burners. Sometimes fires are needed for various things during camping, and they can start wildfires if not put out properly. Smoking is another cause. Sometimes the buds are not properly extinguished, and you never know where the bud will end up and start a fire. Firecrackers are also a cause of forest fires. Many times, villagers set small fires to clear off path from dry litter, that is, tree twigs, branches, leaves, etc. This fire, when becomes uncontrollable, turns disastrous. A very similar exercise practiced in northeastern states of India, popularly known as Jhum or shifting cultivation. Sparks from these activities may lead to fires in the forest. Speaking of scientific facts, 3 key factors work to intensify fire: heat source, fuel, and oxygen. Fuel and oxygen are present in abundance inside any forest. Any natural and man-made heat source is enough to provoke a devastating fire. Gases are released from the grass and leaves when heat continues to grow, which combines with oxygen to inflame the fire. More gases are released as the fire rises, and thus the chain reaction begins. Fire on steep slopes spreads rapidly. Fire tends to move faster uphill as the direction of flames rise seemingly upwards. Thus, it can spread quickly to the other plantation on the slopes. The result is that the fire takes a large part of the forest very soon. Furthermore, wind direction plays a pivotal role and can help a fire to spread and move quickly. The sparkles of the burning trees can reach any part of the forest along with the wind, and thus making the fire to spread in large parts of the forest. Pine tree works as a fuel in a fire. Pine tree swab is a very flammable material that quickly catches fire. Pine trees' needles catch the fire fastest, thereby increasing the frequency and intensity of forest fire. Generally, these needles dry up and fall down the trees, evidently making the entire area fire-prone.
The needle in cher pine is very prone to fire, and so the cher pine areas are more vulnerable to wildfire outbreaks.
In recent years, with change in precipitation level, temperature and recurring drought calamities, more areas have become susceptible to wildfire outbreaks. The burning of forest destroys an important sink of atmospheric carbon dioxide. Greenhouse gases released during the combustion of vegetations led to human-induced global climate change. With large-scale expansion of pine forests in many areas of the Himalayas, the frequency and intensity of forest fires has increased. Needless to say that a forest fire can certainly spiral havoc to vegetation and wildlife, but there are many advantages as well. The dense canopy in a forest makes the sunlight almost impenetrable to the ground, resulting into the growth of some of the harmful plantation and making the new vegetation to barely grow and flourish. In such a case, wildfires troll through the forest, clearing out the dead and old trees and destroying the poisonous bushes. And so, the forest fire can lead to ecological rebirth. Besides, some of the times-controlled fires are put by the forest rangers. This method is adopted to eliminate the accumulated dry and useless forests and bushes. By adopting this method, a forest is saved from the large and uncontrolled fire. Forest fires are of various kinds. They spread in various ways. The three primary classes of forest fires are surface, crown, and ground fires. Each classification intensity depends on the quantity and types of fuels involved and their moisture content. These conditions have an effect on fire intensity and will determine how fast the fire will spread. India usually faces surface fires. Surface fires burn on the surface of the ground. They burn dry leaves, broken twigs and branches and other materials on the ground. Forest Survey of India has taken the initiative and responsibility of assessment and monitoring of the forest resources of the country regularly. In addition, it is also engaged in providing the services of training, research and extension. Forest Survey of India is using the latest remote sensing and communication technology to deal with the problems associated with forest fires. For this, they now have collaboration with National Remote Sensor Center. Active fire spots are received by NRSC Hyderabad at their ground station at Shadnagar. These fire points are shared by email to FSI, which further filters out all fires other than forest fires.
This system is based on the MODIS satellite data, in which near real-time detection of forest fires are captured across the globe. But Forest Survey of India downloads this data and does some value addition and issues alerts for all the states.
This information is then detailed in the form of state, district, division range, beat compartment boundaries, etc., and then passed on to state nodal officers and registered users. It is also uploaded on the website of FSI in the form of maps and tables, and also sent by SMS to users who have specified their area of interest.
In 2017, we had launched this Forest Fire Alert System version 2, which has completely revolutionized the way we send the forest fire alerts to the field officers. We have completely automated the process from our end, so that has led to reduction of time from our end. And these days we are providing the alerts within 40 minutes of the satellite pass in most of the cases.
Forest Survey of India has also developed a pre-warning alert system. Alerts of fire are given to the forest departments. These alerts are based on parameters such as forest cover, forest type, climate variables, and recent fire incidences in the area. Areas above threshold values are chosen and communicated as pre-warning forest fire alerts through emails to the nodal officer of the state forest departments. These alerts are valid for a week as they are based on short-term weather variables. Inclusion of more parameters such as slope, aspect of soil type, integrating it with near real-time weather databases of IMD and IITM are also envisaged to develop indices to accurately indicate the fuel characteristics, fire behavior, improve pre-warning and reduce processing time in the near future. Rainfall data of previous 7 days obtained by IMD is also used to mask out the areas receiving adequate rainfall so that such grids are not alerted. Besides NASA's Earth Observatory, a freely accessible common platform offer a variety of data and tools to help monitor forest fires through satellite imagery. Sensors and instruments like Terra, Aqua, Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer Suite, Landsat 8, etc. provide high-resolution imagery of fire and smoke every 5 to 15 minutes. Similarly, ISRO's Geoportal Bhuvan, a unique, freely accessible GIS platform of the country, is used by a wide variety of users community for analysis, preparedness and response, and timely information on disaster such as forest fire. Forest Department works religiously to prevent and reduce the impact of this disaster. This department is essentially responsible for forest conservation and security in the entire country. The department has prepared security checkpoints and safety beats inside forests. Besides, special fire security centers have been established where, along with other information, weather and temperature conditions are monitored on hourly basis.
बारिश वगैरह हो रही है अभी उधर?
ये झागड़ा का है, न्यूनतम 13.1, अधिकतम 32.0 और 5% आर्द्रता.
Updated information from the beats reaches the centers around the clock, which then is updated on the Forest Department's software.
With the help of satellite technology, we are able to detect fire outbreaks at its earliest. Forest Survey of India helps us in this endeavor. Through MODIs and SNPP satellites, FSI identifies fire spots and provides alert. Based on information, we mark those forest boundaries and pass the information to the crew station level.
वो हम प्रोसेस करते हैं और उसको क्रू स्टेशन लेवल तक वहां तक उनको पहुंचाते हैं.
Information and updates released by Forest Survey of India arrive in these centers, for which the department has also hired IT experts.
Forest fire के लिए हम Forest Survey of India.
For forest fire, we take the information from FSI Dehradun and through remote sensing we pass this information to the ground level. We also take feedback for the information that we have provided in order to ensure whether there has been an actual fire incident or not. We use GSI tool. We also have our web applications.
हमारी web applications हैं उसको हम use करते हैं.
As soon as the center receives any fire-related information through any beat or monitoring services, forest security personnel and firefighting team are put on alert. Depending on the condition of the fire, the team leaves to deal the on-site fire along with the necessary equipment. After reaching the spot, first the team takes up the task by making a fire line around the fire. Dry leaves are removed from the fire site with the help of blower. Firemen remove the nearby vegetation and prepare a fire line to limit the fire to that very place. And then the fire is controlled.
जो सूचना आई थी आपको उसको हमने कंट्रोल कर लिया है और सीधे भी कंट्रोल में है वापस आ रही टीम. ओके मैसेज नोट करें.
Another method to control a fire is to burn the vegetation. The trees and the bushes are already burned so that the fire can no longer be fueled to spread forward. Fire engines are used in such situations if the fire is getting out of control. The fire is put out by spraying water. At times, forest fires take up the monstrous form. During situations like this, spraying of chemicals and water is done by the planes or aircrafts to put out the fire. Although this situation is mostly seen in US and European countries, where it takes months to take control of the fire. While Forest Survey of India has taken up the responsibility of monitoring early warning and data collection, there is also a need for ground-level technology to deal with forest fire. For this, Forest Research Institute Dehradun is working on developing equipment to tackle fires in collaboration with the local fire departments.
This toolkit, in fact, we designed it ourselves, and then we showed the designs to the experts and ultimately refined it. And we gave the design to the Forest Department of Uttarakhand way back in 2005-2006. And then they got it fabricated, and ultimately this toolkit is being used now by the forest officials, the fire watchers which are engaged during fire season, and the other frontline staff of the Forest Department.
Since our region mostly faces surface fires, they don't need much advanced equipment. They have developed a fire fighting kit, which is a light-weighted bag comprising of a lot of attachments which are useful in controlling fire. All these attachments can get attached to a single rod so that the weight remains light. These attachments are designed for the various processes involved to put out fire. On a regular basis, a lot of precautions and awareness is required about forest fires and fire management. FSI conducts awareness programs for people in which they make them aware about the various fire-prone areas and what all should be done to contain a forest fire. Apart from this, they also inform them about the precautions to be taken on a regular basis, which can reduce the possibility of fire outbreak. Most importantly, they promote communities to be a part of early warning by helping in giving quick information about any fire outbreak. Special Van Suraksha Samitiya have been formed for this purpose. People are also made aware what all should not be done in a forest. For example, no cigarettes, no bonfires, avoid carrying inflatable material in the forest, refrain from cooking in the forest, make sure that every splinter is completely stopped, and in case of fire, inform the authorities as soon as possible. Some important emergency numbers are also shared with the communities so that help can be reached fast. Emergency Disaster Management 108, Ambulance Helpline 102, Police Control Room 100, Fire Service 101. Also, important to remember is that the collector of a particular district is in charge of the District Disaster Management Authority of that district. Since time immemorial, forests have been an integral part of human ecosystem. They are nature's greatest bounty to mankind and play a very significant role in our life. Let's keep them protected.